double biceps. It is in the contract a legal requirement every single time we appear on camera. Oh, there we go. But I may get shown up by the biceps of our guest today. But the man to my left, but to your right, it could be, depending on which screen you are looking at, the co-host, the co-founder, the co-breather of air, the co-wearer of clothes in this very room. It is none other than the King of Sting, the Count of Monte Cristo, the Master of Disaster, the Siberian Bull, Thunderlips, the ultimate male. It is none other than the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year award, the illustrious award held by the illustrious man with the illustrious beard. It is your friend and mine. It is Dave Stockbridge. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for that very warm welcome as always. Hollywood Matt Connelly is enjoyed to be with you on Arm Wrestling tonight, your 5-night a week, half-an-hour dose of arm wrestling. We feature 5 nights a week. Some of the best up-and-coming talent from around the world, and on screen right now is a young man who, well, we call him the Giant Killer. The reason being is because there aren't too many people his size that are even competitive with him. He has to go up several weight categories just to find somebody who's a challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is seated number 1 at the AWE Grand Prix 3. I think he is anyway. Hollywood Matt Connelly will confirm very, very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Taran Broad.
Oh, there it
Look
is.
at that. Look at that. Taran Broad.
Don't look at that. Hang on. Look at this. No, don't look at his. No, look at me.
Can we confirm that, Hollywood, before we go any further? Is Taran the number 1 seed for this event?
Absolutely.
Okay. So number 1 seed. Now, it's unusual for Taran to be number 1 seeded because he's normally competing against gorillas that are 30, 40, 60, 80 kilos heavier than him. But 100. On this occasion, in some cases 100 kilos heavier. But on this occasion, he is the big gorilla in the room. He is the biggest of the 85 kilo competitors that are likely to be standing tableside at AWE Grand Prix 3. He is the one that all have come to beat. Taran, how does it feel having that type of pressure, a different type of pressure, coming into an event?
No, I like it. It's a good amount of pressure. It makes me want to train harder, and I finally get to verse some international competition that are elite and get to test myself.
What do you know about your international foes? We've got Guy Tanapat, Gigi Yu, hailing from Singapore. Guy, of course, from Thailand. Have you ever had the opportunity to grip up with either of these guys, or has your experience of them simply been what you've seen online so far?
I've only really heard about him recently because of this comp, basically, and I just did some research on him. Guy looks insanely strong for how long he's been arm wrestling, and who's the other guy? I forgot how to say his name.
Gigi Yu.
Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to say that. But I think, he's had some good matches with what's his name? Kachan? Yeah, that guy. And he's one of the top guys, so he looks pretty damn strong as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you look up and down the card, of course, there are a few competitors that you are much more familiar with. And you've had a great back and forth with Josh Barker over the last several years. And I think Jake Ward claims that Josh has beaten you on every single occasion. But you were kind enough to just clarify that indeed that's 100% incorrect.
He beat me every time.
He beat you every time, but you walked away with the win.
Yeah, I faced him at New South Wales States in 2022. I won that. I was about 79 kilos. And then at Garage Wars a few months later. Mm-hmm. And then, the match you're showing now at AWE1, I think it was.
Yeah. So I think Josh was early 70s in this matchup, and you were saying you were certainly not at your heaviest. So you're looking quite trim.
No.
How much did you weigh in at AWE Grand Prix 1?
82, 83. 82, 83, and at New South Wales was 79. So we're only maybe 4 to 8 kilos difference, depending on the event.
Yeah. So I guess that pushes back on Josh's claim that you were substantially heavier at the time. It does seem to be that you were definitely within QE. And on this occasion, Josh is bulking all the way up to 85 kilos. So hopefully meet you there. Is it fair to say that you'll just slide in under 85 kilos for this event?
Yeah, well, I literally weighed in at 86 today. So
wow.
I'll easily make it.
Now, you're normally competing against guys much heavier, so you're kind of forced to Well, you to force feed yourself essentially to get up to that level. The last time we saw you competing on the AWE table was almost a year ago. You were due to compete at Grand Prix 2, but last minute, tonsillitis and like
Yep.
literally last minute, you were just knocked out of the
Yeah,
equation.
it was like a week before my neck started hurting, and I thought it was from a photo shoot. And then it turns out it was my lymph nodes swelling up because I was just about to have severe tonsillitis.
And the
my
photo
God.
shoot.
Well, it is true. You featured on in the Murdoch Press. There was a big feature about the event, and yourself and Tyler, one of our other local competitors, were asked to be part of that photo shoot. And in that photo shoot, you are looking over your shoulder, so I can exactly see why you thought maybe I was just straining a little bit as I'm posing, trying to get the bicep maxed out and get a little bit of a pump of vascularity there for the camera, and you got your neck turned, and it's real easy done. So initially you felt it was just that soreness in your neck, but there was really a virus ramping up to take you out.
Yeah, because I felt lactic acid holding my neck there for so long. And I couldn't think of any other reason why my neck could be hurting until like 3 days later when I had a fever of 40.
And it really did knock you out of the equation for some time. So you were really out of action for some weeks after that. It took quite
it took me about 2 or 3 months to get to my same strength because I lost 10 kilos in 10 days. I went from 94 to 84 in 10 days from not eating. I was coughing up blood and pus, and it was horrid. And then I bulked up to about 87, but I decided to stay a bit leaner, and I feel a lot healthier for it. Yeah.
Well, I guess the reason why you would have been bulking up, of course, because you were competing against the heavyweights and the super heavyweights. I think our largest competitor in that event was Marcus Atirai, who weighed in around 170 or so kilos. And
like twice my weight.
Just only twice your weight.
His head weighs as much as I do.
and I think, the next lightest competitor might have been Ryan Bowen or
Brett Coots, maybe.
Brett
I think he was like 100.
About 100-ish, But I mean, looks like a cartoon character at 100 kilos.
He
does. So you're competing against the big guys there. But the time before that, we saw you at AWE T Series competing with Brett Coots, and so again, you're naturally walking around at 85, 87 kilos. But when you're competing against monsters, and here we've got your super match, of course, with Adam Laura, which earned you the moniker of the Giant Killer. Because, of course, Adam Laura for a very long time has remained in the top tier of super heavyweights here in Australia. Big man, strong man, and competed at AWE 1 as well. And here you actually flew yourself over to Sydney for this one. Was this a planned super match, or was this you just going over?
I gave him about 3 months' notice, and then booked in a date, and I went with Tyler. Tyler had a match with Josh Barker, and I had a match with Adam. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is for a lot of people. They started to really take you seriously as a heavyweight after this, and I guess it must be frustrating for you to be kind of like in between. That middleweight range where it's very difficult for you to be physically competitive. If you're another 6 inches taller or something like that, but at your height, you're almost as big as you can be at the moment, and to be kind of forced to put on an extra 10 kilos just to be competitive, it must take its toll on the body.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was eating absolutely disgustingly. I was having shakes of like peanut butter and olive oil and everything you can think about. It was disgusting. Like you could basically have the shakes with like a knife and fork. It was that big. I was like gorging just to get to 94, and like everyone was still way heavier.
Wow.
And this is
that was the tournament up in it's out at the end there.
And I wasn't even going to do that tournament because my arm was killing from Brett, because I'm not used to getting pulled through on a hook.
Indeed, and it was very interesting, that matchup with Brett Coos, because you've got a very similar style. You both love to get into a hook, and we've seen videos of our host on screen right now, Hollywood Matt Connelly, in the training rooms there at the SA Titans, basically hanging off your hook and being unable to move it much more than a few centimeters. And it seems that you're only giving a little bit just to be gracious and accommodating and to offer some hope.
He should have used two arms so he could still lose.
I did. I've got the video of that too.
Now, I will ask, you are so far ahead of your peers at SA Titans and your own club. Is there some degree of frustration in preparing for a big event like this, or like those that we've just spoken about, when you are so far ahead of everybody in the training room and you don't have that iron to sharpen your tools and to make your game even more even stronger than what it is currently?
Yeah, I definitely find it harder to learn what positions are more effective and like the right angles and everything. When they're a lot weaker, it's hard to tell. But we've got Jules. Jules is pretty damn strong.
Yeah,
he actually teaches me a fair bit of technique because he's strong enough. And yeah,
and Jules is very strong in some very unusual places as well. Like, he's got some particular vectors.
The more his bones go out of line, the stronger he gets.
It's insane.
Like, legit. The moment his bones go in line with his body, his like bones disintegrate.
There's a very interesting video I saw just recently where he had was it a 70-kilo dumbbell, and he's just leaning over, and it goes all the way over, and then he just brings it all the way back, and it's
disgusting.
But just he is quite freakish. So, but yeah, so it must be difficult for you. And so, how do you go about preparing for an event in that situation?
Well, with Theon, I was like using bands, and he was using two arms, and we were doing different angles and stuff. That's about the best you can do if they're weaker.
Yeah.
And
so with this particular event coming up, is there any changes to normal protocols? There we go. There's Jules on screen now with the 70 kilo.
Oh my god. It's actually
That's his profile. That's his profile photo.
Devin Lorette is his biggest fan. He like loves that stuff.
Oh, outrageous.
Talk about testing your frame. That's just insanity right there.
You can actually feel that lift on the table. He literally gets into that position. Yeah, it's disgusting.
Wow. So talk us through first and foremost, for those that are just tuning in for the first time, and some of our international guests, especially those in Europe that are just starting to jump into the comments at the moment, maybe tell us about how you got your start in arm wrestling.
Okay, I think I was about 23. It was early 2017, and I always enjoyed arm wrestling like when I was a teenager, but I didn't even know it was a sport until I was 23. And then I searched up arm wrestling South Australia, and I found Tim, and I messaged him, and I literally went to arm wrestling the next week, and I never stopped doing it. Basically,
you were hooked immediately.
Yeah.
And what did the arm wrestling scene in Adelaide look like at that point in time?
It was in Tim's backyard of one table and like less than five people, and sometimes only one person would rock up. It happened the first time Tyler came.
No.
Yeah. And one time he drove all the way from Gawler and there was no one there, and he had to drive back. Like a 3-night drive.
The next time he turned up, Tim forgot to bring the pads for the table.
What a great introduction.
Yet he came back.
You have to claw your way back to rock bottom. You're not even at rock bottom yet.
So do you kind of feel like you got in right at the bottom, like you're really there at the basement, and you've seen the sport really take off around you?
Oh, definitely. Like, we literally got 8 tables and like probably like 50 members or something.
Yeah,
at least. And like even with 8 tables, sometimes they're all packed. And like even in like when I go to the gym, I have people like nearly every workout walk up to me and ask if I'm an arm wrestler.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that because
it probably happened 5 times last week.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is that because of the movements that you're doing in the gym?
Yeah, I
or
do
is
a
that
lot of
just...
arm wrestling stuff, and then they ask what it is, and then some of them do know what arm wrestling is, and then I get them to follow me, and then ask if they're interested to come to the club or not.
Wow. So you've turned into quite the ambassador for the sport.
Yeah, I try.
Well, and this is your match up at AWET Series, which was on Australia Day 2024. So just a little over a year ago, late January 2024. And you're on the table here against Brett Coots. Brett's a national heavyweight, super heavyweight champion multiple times on right and left arm. And did you ever feel there was a time when you, as you started in particular, that you would be on the table seen as serious competition for somebody like Brett Coots?
Literally never. I didn't even think when he asked me, I was going to have a match with him. Yeah, Brett's no one beats Brett in a hook, and I'm a hook puller. Like, I don't think I've seen Brett lose in a hook. The only time he's ever lost is in a top roll.
And you did get some impressive. You're going to do some impressive stops on Brett as well, which would have given you some sense that you're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, in the third round, it took him maybe like 4 or 5 surges to get through, and it was in his strongest position. And I didn't know Brett was going to be that heavy that day, because he was like 90 to 95 for a while, and then he turns up with like huge.
Yeah.
Like, if he was like 90, 95, I would have had a good chance, but that level of power is insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's Brett literally looks like he's 30 or 40 kilos heavier than you here. Not maybe 10 or 15. Like he definitely is he's such an impressive specimen. Well, certainly all the ladies there felt that he was an impressive specimen. We didn't realise there were any women at the venue at all until Brett took his shirt off, and about a dozen or so just kind of started swarming out from the bar and towards the canopy there, and before you knew it, the marquee was filled with middle-aged women that were all of a sudden interested in arm wrestling, as it turns out. So
and very surreptitiously looking or not looking at Brett.
All of a sudden, they're a major fan of arm wrestling.
Yes, that's right.
They were all there, but none of them were looking at Brett. They were all very sneakily looking every now and then.
Yeah. So I mean, it hasn't, I wouldn't say a rapid rise, it's been a sustained rise. To me, you've seemed to be one of these athletes that's been omnipresent over the last 5 or 7 years, and there's been this gradual improvement, and here we go, there's that stop, there we go, and again,
I have to watch this. Yeah, he surged a couple times. I actually stopped him with rotation.
And then there's that smile. There he is.
He stopped it.
And it stopped it again. And what's happening here? There we go.
I was going to go into a King's move. I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to blow my bicep. I was so close to going to a King's move, but it wasn't worth it.
And I think it was it there that Brett may have injured himself? There was a bit of a peck.
The very last movement of Brett is where he tore his pec.
Yeah, because he was 100% serious the last round after the third round, and then he must have went 100% and blew it out. He must have like tweaked it in the third round or something and just gave out.
Let me bring it up here for you. All right. There we go. Going into the hook. We've got to stop. You brought it back a bit higher. You even there in the center.
I'm so red.
And right there, that was it.
Oh, that final surge.
Right.
1,
there,
2,
that one.
And right, that's the one.
I actually felt that. I felt that go through my arm.
Ugh.
Oh, really? Yeah?
Yeah, like I felt something, like the pressure let up.
Oh, wow. You're just thinking, if only I could have stopped that final surge, I probably would have got that pin.
If it happened if it happened in the third round, I could have won the whole thing.
Yes.
Should have done that
So you've been competing for most people now would consider you one of the top 10, regardless of weight, in the country. And so this has been it's been wonderful to watch from the sidelines and to be cheering you on and to see. For Matt and I, you're a local. You know, you're part of the SA Titans, an integral part of the SA Titans club, and it's been absolutely spectacular to see you rise to the top of arm wrestling in Australia. But you would think that at 85 kilos, you are the man at the moment. And so you've got this new pressure going into Grand Prix 3. And we're really looking forward to seeing what the best of Southeast Asia and Australia have in order to try and take you out. Now, we have made a point on several occasions of just letting the arm wrestling world know that this is not a super match event. This is a tournament event. And of course, as we saw in our last tournament, you can get a couple of guys like Charles Puri and Marcus Tirai on the table in the first round, having an absolute war, making it easier for the seeds on either side of them to perhaps progress to the next round. So really, in this format, anything can happen. And even if you happen to be caught in that type of situation or not necessarily walk away with the chocolates on this occasion, it's not really hurting your chances on the international super match stage, one would imagine. You know, a good performance here is always going to be good to have on the resume, but ultimately on the other side of this tournament, there's all of that super match glory still to be enjoyed. Have you got any names in mind that you'd love to see across the other side of the table in a super match format in the coming 12 or 18 months that just seems natural for you?
I haven't really thought about that because I've been focusing on this comp so much. Just anyone from Southeast Asia, but you're already bringing the people I wanted to face. Like, you've literally bought the people that I wanted to verse, so now I don't know who to choose. I'd have to talk to Greg.
Well, Greg Yo.
Yeah. 100% I'll do that.
He's having some fun with you in the comments here. We'll get to that in a little while.
Yeah, I can't, for some reason, it's like cut off and I can't even see the comments.
Oh,
okay, let's maybe go to the comments now.
All right, that's fine. Well, we've had something that's happened that's never happened before, and that is that the Drew was not the very first person to write a comment. He missed out by about 3 seconds. French McGee jumping in ahead of him, and there we are. The Drew, he's here. He did put the Sunnies emoji up, but he was too late. He was in second position. Look at that, the French McGee. Oh, I beat the Drew. What a win!
Yeah,
there you go. We've got Spermy's ass is creamy is here, which is obviously a play on Hermes Gasparini, and great guy, met him in Ireland. Brandon Chan says, is that the guy from the chat, Stankius?
Tell us, where did you get the Dankius moniker from? Where did that come from?
Yeah, well, 2016 I had a meme YouTube channel and it was called Dankus Memius, and then it got deleted for being too offensive, and then the second channel was called Dankius, and then I just called my arm wrestling Dankus Arm Wrestling.
Fantastic. Awesome.
Yeah.
There you go. Grant
and that's
Law
evolved into Stankius, obviously.
Yeah. Well,
Brandon has
one.
Yeah. Evolved it.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Grant Law is in, one of the SA Titans members. He says, I just hope Taran doesn't sustain an injury during this podcast. Adam Hasty
and Grant is the man that was at that photo shoot. So maybe I don't know. He didn't display any symptoms at the time, of course, but maybe there was something going on that we don't know. Did he pass something on? Did he attempt to sabotage you there? I don't want to create any rumors or any conflict between you and Grant, but just
that's classic Grant.
There we go. Well, Adam Hasty is also in. He says, hey, good timing, 3 awesome lads. Great to see you in here, Adam, and always good to see you. Grant Law has followed up his joke with G'day Hollywood, we're all behind Taran, the title is coming home.
Oh yeah.
Well, technically it wouldn't have left home.
That's right.
No.
Yeah, but it's going
around the corner
to somebody else's home. Ruben Jennings, who is also in the tournament, he says hello from Gympie. It's great to see you, Ruben, and thank you so much for stepping up to fill in the position when Hamza Hodzic unfortunately was not able to to compete. So yes, Ruben Jennings is in the show. He's in the chat and he says hello. Great to see him here. Phil Woody from the UK is in as well. Hello to Phil, great guy over there, helps a lot with the arm wrestling scene in the UK. Ruben said, no need to show the footage of Taran beating him in the tournament so many times.
Doesn't exist.
We didn't show it at all. It didn't repeat 3 times, but that's okay. Marinda Korf is here. Hello to Marinda. Great to see you in here. She has a good question down the bottom here, which I'm getting to. Here we go. Greg Yo from Eastside Arm Wrestling says, most don't know this, but the reason I couldn't join Grand Prix 3 is because Taran said the loser had to give the winner a private riser training session.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
And he also says, show your love to Taran's OnlyFans as well. He does topless bicep curls to Rune Escape music.
That's an inside joke there. It's an inside joke. I'm not even gonna attempt to explain that one.
The Drew is putting up a link which is not real, but he says OnlyFans Taran is a hooker.com. Sign up now to get one-on-one lessons.
Hell yeah.
You could go to that site. I don't think it exists, but you could go.
I think the Drew's just set it up. It's
well, you should register it now.
Yeah.
Aaron Castillo is in. Hello to you, Aaron. He says, any chance Taran will make a trip to the US for any of the fun over here?
100%. Yeah, I definitely want to do that if I had money.
Does cost.
Or fly him to me.
Yeah.
We'll just keep flying Americans over.
Yeah.
Well, it's, yeah, I mean, and just so people do understand it, America is maybe one of the most expensive places for Australians to get to around the world.
Oh, yeah.
So it's no easy task to get people to America or vice versa. So when you do see these young stars like Mario Tambakis and Lachlan Carpenter and these guys heading to the US, you know, they're making a massive investment, usually out of their own pockets. There's normally not sponsors or anybody getting behind them in order to do this. They're really taking a punt on themselves and heading over to give their best. So if you do get the opportunity to support them when they're competing over there, please do. And just by getting behind them, liking their socials and encouraging them in the comments is normally enough. That's all they seek when making this investment to follow their dreams and travel the world and try and make their arm wrestling dreams come true.
Absolutely. Marinda Korf has a question for Taran. She says, who is your inspiration in Australia right now?
Apart from Hollywood Matt Connelly, of course.
Dave. No, inspiration. But maybe Brett.
Brett Coots.
Yeah.
Brett. I just want to be a smaller version of him, basically.
He is a powerful man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some inspiration, because Brett's now 46 or 47 years of age and has been in the sport for a very long time. And when you project out and you think about if you're still competing at that age, that's like 30 years of arm wrestling, really, and which is kind of incredible.
Definitely, I'll be doing it till I die. I'll probably be in the arm wrestling position when I'm in like when the
coffin.
Yeah, when the rigor mortis sets in. No one will ever pin me again.
That's fantastic. Well, Greg Yo says that you've been deemed a flight risk because you're always carrying around that pair of guns. Josh Barker says 85 kilo Taran Broad versus 85 kilo Josh Barker. Who wins? We'll find out on March 23rd.
Ooh, he's doing the hype for us.
It's going to be interesting.
He's coming to win it. He's very, very excited. Sirens French McGee says that she is your inspiration for what not to do.
Thanks. Likewise.
And Kyle Davison has just jumped in right at the end here. He says, "It's Taran, great. Now I'm turned on."
Ooh, okay. Well, that was easy.
half price off the OnlyFans this month only. Just use code word hooker.
Sorry, mate.
I said use the code word hooker.
Yeah, I'm number one hooker under 85.
Discount code. Well, With just a few moments to go before the end of our half hour, Taran Broad, any final thoughts about Grand Prix 3?
No, no, I'm coming to win it all. No, they're done.
Fantastic.
They're done.
Sounding very, very confident, and rightly so. He seated number one for this event, just announced tonight by Hollywood Matt Connelly after we've consulted all the major players. Actually, we just spoke to Jake Warden. He thought that Taran had lost everything, but nonetheless, overridden. And Matt has designated you the number one seed for AWE Grand Prix 3. That takes place on the 23rd of March. As we draw close to the event, we're going to be letting everybody know how they can see that event and when they can see that event. And importantly, there is only one guaranteed way of seeing it live, and that is to be there in person. And soon tickets will be on sale, and you can see the man on screen right now walk away with it all, perhaps, or be beaten by one of the other competitors. And there's going to be 7 men in the room doing their absolute best in order to ensure they walk away with the AWE middleweight belt around their waist. But Taran Broad, at this stage, all the money is on you for that, and we wish you all the very best of luck as you go through the final moments of preparation. Please stay away from any viruses. Do not do any photo shoots, and we look forward to seeing you on the 23rd.
Easy. I'm just about to go to hospital now.
Get it over and done with now.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right.
Awesome.
Well,
Any final thoughts, Hollywood Matt Connelly?
Oh, very happy. I think we did a great show. Great to get you finally on bloody podcast, Taran. Been asking you for years.
Once every 4 years.
It's like the Olympics.
Yeah,
that's right. Well, we got there. We got there in the end.
Well, we hope to have you on again before the big event. Of course, we are counting down. It's less than a month away now, and so I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that will want to hear more about how your preparation's gone as we draw closer to fight week. So we'll look forward to talking to you again as we get closer to the big day.
Should we finish with a nice double bicep there? Just to finish things off. Oh, look out.
Well.
Oh, that's that 85 kilo